Hello and welcome. Today we're here to demo the Celonis Execution Management System, or EMS. As we go through the demo, we're going to look across three main themes. Data, how Celonis can integrate across all the various source systems at the business and better understand how we're comparing to the KPIs we had set forth to the business. From there, we'll begin to look at intelligence, how Celonis is able to uncover inefficiencies within the process and identify root causes that previously would have been invisible. And lastly is action, how with this newfound intelligence, Celonis can help close out those process gaps and enhance the process meeting those KPI targets that we had set forth. Now, as we move on to the demo, the first screen we're going to look at is our Celonis Executive Dashboard. This dashboard provides team leads with a snapshot view they can use to monitor some of Credit Acceptance Corporation's most important metrics for its loan servicing. This will allow greater transparency into how the process is run, and this information can be used by analysts to begin uncovering the root causes. And today, what is most important to me is to better understand delinquencies or late payments. I might begin to wonder, how late are the payments coming in? How often are they coming in late on average? And what does the process look like when a customer pays late? So let's enlist the help of a process analyst to dig a little deeper. The first step a process analyst will take in determining where efficiencies may lie will be to understand the process and visually investigate. And here enters the Celonis X-ray or our Variant Explorer. Celonis uses your data to provide this X-ray into the process, giving you a precise, real-time, and completely objective view of how the process truly runs. Here, Celonis can show us the different paths a monthly servicing cycle may go, such as the one you see in front of you, happening approximately 53% of the time. See that the process starts with creating a monthly statement, then the customer pays the statement, we notify the customer we've received their statement, and obviously this all occurs before the due date. As I begin to show different paths that this may take, I can see the second most common variant occurs about 8% of the time. And this path goes from creating monthly statement over to a statement paid before we've even notified them, which is ideal. They pay early, gives us cash in the bank, and then the rest of the process follows. Now let's extend one more time and see how this third variation, occurring about 7% of the time, occurs. We'll see that the due date passes before we send out a late payment notice, and then the customer finally pays. From there, they end up calling in, asking if they could get the late fee removed because they're really sorry, but they still paid anyway. And when I look at this bottom section, my first thought as a process analyst is there is going to be a lot of extra manual work coming in that is a major pain point for our business. But this is not what processes truly look like. If I expand to show the full view, we'll see what really occurs when you begin to fully understand what is happening in a process. But I don't want to focus on all these different variations. What I really want to do is go back to the third most common variant and begin to understand a little bit more. So let's dig deeper and understand delinquencies and generate some more insights. Now, similar to that first screen, we can see here that we have some important KPIs, such as delinquency rate, average delinquency per customer, as well as average manual touchpoints. I can also see some of the major root causes for manual tasks, such as a late fee dispute or statement dispute. And I can also begin to understand if a customer does pay, but they pay late, how many days late do they tend to pay? Now, with Celonis, with just one click, I'm able to filter the process to get a better understanding of what it all looks like when a customer pays within the first 10 days of being late. And as I do that, let's take note on some of the KPIs on top. So now with just one click, I filtered on the 20% of these cases where a customer pays late but still pays within that first 10 days. You'll note average delinquency per customer shot up from 1.3 to 6.7. And now what this tells me is that this is systemic. If a customer pays late, they oftentimes pay late every single month. And with that, I can begin to start thinking about what is a solution. But first, I want to see how Celonis now visualizes this in the process. Once again, we're seeing that some of the most common stages are that a customer calls in, an investigation was initiated, and then a late fee removed. But what's even more interesting is I can see how long is being spent on actually dealing with these. And some of the longest time frames that we have for these activities, such as investigation initiated, customer phone call, and late fee removed, will allow us to have a lot of benefit if we can automate or get rid of these from actually occurring. Now that we've uncovered the issue, we want to tell these customers to move their payments back a few days to solve for this. But how can Celonis go from intelligence to action to actually helping out? And here in our next screen, we'll see that with our Celonis action flows. What Celonis will do is automatically query all new customer cases that are coming in. Whenever there is a due date that passes, we'll begin to determine, is it within 10 days? If yes, is this the first time they've paid? Or have they paid multiple times late within that 10-day window? If this is their first time, we'll simply email the customer of their late payment, let them know that it's been 10 days, and see if they need any assistance. If this has been occurring multiple times, what we'll want to do is actually take action. We'll message the billing analyst, let them know that this customer seems to be a repeat late payer. And it's probably in their best interest to delay the due date. And we'll also send a note to the payer, letting them know that we recommend moving their due date back a few days so that they can stop dealing with these overdue payments that are causing not just them a headache, but also our company a headache by having us do additional work when all we're going to do is get rid of that due to customer service. Now, in today's demo, we were able to see those three themes I talked about up front. First one, how we're able to understand and measure our process through the data that we ingest. Then dig deeper and get intelligence about what is truly going on, understand why our customers are paying late and what that looks like, how many days later they're paying and where that systemic issue is. And then lastly, we're able to take action and close that execution inefficiency that we had previously seen by something as simple as letting them know that we're seeing a systemic issue and we can solve that by simply pushing back your due date.